Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about my anchoring system. This is actually a collapsible anchor, and I'm going to go over the system I use with it. So, pretty simple system. I have a piece of PVC tube that the anchor slides into. I have an anchor on each side, and this base keeps the anchor in place in the kayak. And it is two pieces of black PVC pipe, 3 inches wide. I have it mounted on a piece of 1/2 inch king starboard, and the reason for this shape is because this shape actually fits inside my kayak. There's also a round piece of king starboard in here, 1/2 inch, 3 inches, that I screw down inside here, and then I added screws into the side of it. That's what's holding this in. And last year, my system was something like this. I actually had 2 of these. This is white PVC, and the white PVC, I painted it black. All the paint came off. So I actually ordered black PVC this time, so the paint's not going to chip off. And last year, both of these were vertical like this, 90 degrees. So putting the anchor in, I would have to reach behind me, put it in, and it was tough to put in because it stood up straight like this, and sometimes it was a little difficult to see. So this year what I did is I put them on angles like this. So it's going to make it more visible for me to look and see it and put it in. So hopefully that works pretty good for this year. So yeah, I don't need that no more. So I guess the next thing is we'll take this whole contraption now and bring it to the kayak. So on this video, I'm going to leave everything on the boat so you can see how the seat and my milk crate interact with the anchoring system. So before I start talking about this particular system that I am running on my kayak, I'd like to say that this particular system is geared for me. It's geared for my type of fishing. It's geared for the type of waters that I am in, the type of conditions that I put my kayak in, the type of conditions I put myself in. This is not a one-size-fits-all anchoring system. Everyone has their own needs. I only carry 20 feet of line. The reason I only carry 20 feet of line is I'm only fishing in probably 10 feet of water. And the water that I'm fishing in, ponds, lakes, flat water, like I said, it's not very deep. So this particular system works good for that. If you're a person who's fishing in salt water, fishing in water that's choppy, fishing in water that has current, this is not the system you should be using. So just keep that in mind as I'm going over the system that I am using. It might not be for you. This is something that I use in fresh water, in water that's calm, in water that is not so deep. If I was fishing in all those conditions except for the depth part of it, then I would probably get a line management system, which I would probably use one of those retractable clothesline systems, which I actually thought about doing on my build as well. But fishing in shallow water, there's no need for me to have the extra weight and the extra bulk in my kayak for using an anchor that I'm only anchoring in 10 feet of water. So now that I said that, let's look at the anchoring system itself. So this is the setup. in my kayak. You see how it fits down in there. I could probably take these anchors out. Out of here. I'm going to pull one of these anchors out so I can show you how it fits down in. So this is the spot I'm talking about where on this particular kayak, which this is a bona fide 127, how it fits down inside of it. It kind of keys in right there so it can't go forward anymore. And the milk crate, which I have right here, I push it as far forward as I can get it, and that locks this whole, it does a pretty good job of holding it in place here, so it stays pretty, as you can see, it's pretty solid. And I also have this cam cleat. I have one on each side, and what that enables me to do is I can pull the anchor up like so, drop it, and I can kind of do it with one hand. Then it's just a matter of doing this, and that's it. And it's pretty, it's really strong. It doesn't move. And when I want to release it, it's just a matter of doing this. I'll put it back on again. And I'm able to do this with one hand. So let's take a look. So let's take a look at the actual anchor that I am using. It is a 3-pound anchor. It is a folding anchor. And all these flutes on it right here are designed to dig into the mud. And how I use it is I just drop it down, or sometimes I might even swing it out a little bit and then drop it, let some line out, and then it's just a matter of snugging up this a little bit, and then I do the same thing on the other side. And what that's going to do, that's going to kind of, I'm going to have an anchor point which is going to keep my boat in a certain position I want to keep it in. So I guess the next thing, let's talk about the anchor. I have it tied to the bottom. I have a double overhand knot. I then took some shrink tube and put it on here so it keeps it nice and neat. I then brought it up to here. I double knotted it onto a piece of 1/4-inch galvanized chain. And again with the shrink tube. This galvanized chain is 1 foot long. The galvanized chain is on the anchor with this zip tie. The reason it's on a zip tie is if this anchor gets hung up, I can give this some really quick tugs. This zip tie is going to break. When the zip tie breaks, let's see if I can break it. Just like that. You see what I just did? I just snapped it. So now what happens, the anchor pulls from this end now, and it closes these fins, and hopefully it can get you unsnagged. So that's the reason behind the zip tie, and that's the reason I have it rigged the way I do. So I'm going to re-rig this up with a zip tie. The zip tie that I'm using is a wire tie. It's a small wire tie. It takes about 25, 30 pounds maybe of force to snap it. I can pull on it and it's not gonna break. I gotta really jerk on it to get it. I gotta put a lot of force behind it to snap it. So The reason I have the chain on here is I want my anchor to dig in. And I'm going to demonstrate what I mean. The reason I have a galvanized chain on here is for weight. The weight of the chain keeps the shaft of this anchor down. Okay? The other anchor, the orange one, doesn't have chain on it. Look what it does when I put force on it. Okay, so easily that just slides. These fins are not catching any dirt or mud. Watch what happens when I pull the other one. You see what it automatically did? You see what's happening? It's actually, the chain is keeping this down and it's making that dig into the mud. This anchor is going to have a lot more staying power than this one is because of the chain. So if you do have one of these anchors, I would recommend getting galvanized chain like this and putting it on it, so you'll get a better grab on the bottom. So that is the system that I am going to be using for this season. I think it's a big improvement from last year, and that's the whole thing. I mean, every year you want to improve on something, and I think I did that with this system. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Thanks, bye.